morning, Marysville. Today on Charger Chat, we have our wonderful career and college guidance counselor, Monica Lane. And today, I am Micah Ramos, and this is
Vitaly Wachenko.
We are our hosts. So, Vitaly.
All right, so tell us exactly, as a career and college counselor, what do you do for Getchell students?
Well, my role has been changing this year, but pretty much my number one role is to help students with their high school plan and post-high school planning. And my goal is that they fit their post-high school planning based on what their career goals are, which makes sense. Sometimes students will just think, I'm going to go to this university, UW. But then they decide they want to be something like a veterinarian, and UW doesn't have that program. So I hope through meeting with students freshmen through senior year, working with that VOICE online Washington Occupation Information System website to help students figure out where their best fit is for a career, for their personality and what they've been exposed to, and then find a variety of training programs to meet their career goal. Do freshmen necessarily know what they want to do? Some do, and some realize they'll be changing their minds. My question I generally ask students, how many of you think your parents are doing what they thought they would do as a freshman? And very few, which is just fine. I don't mind if students understand that they can change their mind, but to start having a plan, 2 to 3 plans and a variety of careers to explore through high school, and then have some training in mind for post-high school. So that's in essence what I do. Other things I do, we set up career fairs. Opportunity Expo has been in the spring, and we target juniors in the district with a really large career fair where we have everyone from all the branches of the military, the trades, technical schools, so electrician, plumber, pipe fitter, that kind of thing. The 2-year technical schools, many of those DigiPen, Pima Medical Institute, you can go and get technically certified with a 2-year certificate, then community colleges and 4-year schools. But the beauty of our Opportunity Expo Career Fair, we partner with Marysville Rotary, and we'll have 70 to 85 business people who come to meet with juniors and talk about their career, how they got there, what their career path was, and share their passion. And so it's great for students to talk to real people in real jobs about what they're doing.
Yeah, I've been to that, and it was a lot of businesses, even more than I expected when they said.
And did you find it helpful?
I did, yeah. There was and the thing was, they always told me, you got to go up and you got to talk to everyone, but realistically, you go up and talk to a couple, and then you find yourself being talked to by most of them. Mm-hmm. So, and it really takes up time fast, and you just tend to meet everyone. And a lot of colleges too. Yeah, there was a lot of people there. It was crazy.
Well, and we try, Mr. Carpenter and I are the 2 career and college readiness counselors for the district, and we try to prep students. You all showed up looking fabulous, which was great, copies of your resumes and cover letters, and hopefully we get you a list early so you can target the schools you're interested in and the businesses that you're interested in. And sometimes we just want you, as you're wandering through, to bump into something you hadn't considered. And that's what I find, if students don't start looking at careers around them, don't do some of those assessments on VOICE to find out what their personality fits as far as career paths, they don't have a very good idea. They might only be considering the jobs their family members, friends, family do, and there are so many out there to explore, and everyone would have a different niche. Another thing I do are the credits for working. So students that are over 16 and are employed can come see me, and they can sign up to get what we call work-based learning credit. First credit is called Career Choices. You take 90 hours of work and then some assignments, resume, cover letter, some of the career exploration things. And then if you continue working 180 hours, you get another half credit. I meet with your employer, we set up goals, things you're going to be learning on the job. You don't just get credit for working, but we know you're learning to work with the public, customer service. Those will help you in any job you go into.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good. So, as a college and career guidance counselor, what do you do for day-to-day kind of stuff?
Day-to-day? Well, students are getting to know where I am. My office is in Biomed, 3rd floor, and I'm doing a better job. I used to hand out business cards. Now I have students put me in their phone. So I get emails like I did from you last night, thank you. and phone calls, and students are interested in getting work credit. They're interested in help with resumes and cover letters. I worked with Mrs. Krager's UW English students the other day on updating their resumes and helping them understand you need different resumes for different situations. You want to tailor your job resume to that job. Scholarship resumes are different, college resumes, that kind of thing. And then I'm in all 4 buildings on the Marysville-Getchell campus. And I'm also down at Mountain View with a new program we have called JAG, Jobs for America's Graduates. And I have a group of 20 seniors, a couple juniors down at Mountain View, and we are going to be going on quite a few field trips for different training programs. We're going up to Bellingham Tech and Skagit and Western, UW Bothell, Pima, some of the apprenticeship programs, that kind of a thing. So I love the flexibility of my job in that I'm all over the district. But I do miss having a classroom of students and getting to know them well.
So, were you worked as a guidance counselor at MP as well?
Actually, I started at MP as a family and consumer science teacher,
Okay.
and I taught interior design, child development. We ran a preschool for little children, independent living, which is kind of moving out on your own, and health. We don't have family consumer science up at Marysville-Getchell, but they do at Mountain View and at Marysville-Pilchuck. It's a great program. Many people who go into education take the child development class and go on to do that kind of a thing. So I did that for 19 years at Marysville-Pilchuck. And then when we opened Marysville-Getchell, I had the opportunity to come here. And I'm very excited about it. It's kind of nice through any career that you have to tweak your job a bit. I loved teaching. And I still get to teach when I go in and I do my lessons, but I feel I'm impactful in a different way as a career prep, career guidance counselor.
So you notice that a lot of freshmen tend to change their minds, or they plan on changing their minds. So when you were a freshman, how does your freshman year compare to where you are now?
You know, I was so envious throughout high school about those people who knew what they wanted to do. Less envious now. I don't know any of them that are doing what they thought they'd want to do. I knew from a young age that I was going to go to college. My mother went to Gonzaga. My dad was at Everett Community College, and at Western he didn't finish because he had an opportunity to start the car dealership. My family has Dwayne Lane's car dealerships, but they very much valued education, and I was the oldest of 5. And I didn't know for sure what I wanted to do, but I took the college prep courses, took everything I was supposed to take, and I started at Seattle University and did my basics that you do your first 2 years. And then because I didn't know what I wanted to do, I quit, got married, had the children, that kind of thing, and finished at Western with a teaching degree. Teaching was one thing I'd wanted to do. Another, the hospitality, restaurants, resorts, travel industry had appealed to me. And WSU has a fantastic program. In fact, my daughter, Amy, graduated from Marysville-Pilchuck in '98 and went to WSU and graduated in that program. She's one person I know who in 8th grade knew that's what she wanted, and she continued. She worked for Starwood, Westin, Starwood hotels, Sheraton's, W Hotels, and then went to work for Starbucks and was very successful. She's moved back east and now is working on being a Pilates instructor. So things change, you know, she's 35. That's another thing I hope students understand, that you can change, but you need to be having a plan to be moving forward.
So what would you advise for all like the freshmen, even up to seniors, what would you advise if they still like up to their senior year have no idea what they want to do?
Maybe come see me about doing some job shadows, or get out there and meet some people in industries they might be interested in. When we take those assessments on voice, some of the fun of that, students, they might not know me well enough to share with me their passion about what careers they want until they get those results. And I had a student in School for the Entrepreneur, and he goes, "Miss Lane, I thought I wanted to be a commercial fisherman, and look, it's one of my top ones I could do." You know, so then it reinforces that you do have a passion and an idea that you want. Freshmen, I would say, make sure you're taking challenging courses. Try to do well in your courses. Grades are important in that they open doors. You might have schools and training programs when you're graduating that have a minimum grade point. You want to make sure that you are doing well, that you can get into by the time you're a senior and you've figured out where you want to go. You can get into those schools. You want to have done well in your classes so you do well in your training, college, tech, apprenticeship program, I don't care where it is, but you do well there. And so that's what I'd advise freshmen. And also join clubs and activities and participate in your school. Another thing I do, I forgot to mention scholarships run through my office. And many scholarships are looking for community involvement and school involvement. Unfortunately, I'll have seniors looking at me now in January. Hey, are there any scholarships left? And we have some. Some of the local ones are still coming up. The scholarship deadlines for you sophomores, freshmen, juniors start in October. So understand that your senior year. But our community groups, Marysville Rotary, they give out over $50,000 a year in scholarships. They are a community group of business people who do quite a few good works for our community. So they give money to students who also give back to their community. So join clubs, participate in your student body, sports, after school. I know ISC has a strong community garden. ACE does as well with the garden right off campus. School for the Entrepreneur have their FBLA and DECA clubs, and Bio has their sports med program and some of that. So be active in school.
Cool. So we actually have to go to a break right now, but we'll be right back.
Thank you.
So here's senioritis.
Hey there, champ.
Hey, Doc.
Good news is the procedure went well. You won't have to have your legs removed.
Yes.
Bad news is you have senioritis.
What is that?
Well, it's a common disease, usually with kids your age. Have you been experiencing any insomnia, diarrhea, extreme hunger, lack of motivation, high blood pressure at all?
Yeah, actually I have.
Okay. Well, the tests show that you do have senioritis. This is a serious thing.
Be honest with me, Doc. What are my chances?
Well, you have a 1 in 5 chance of making it. There's really no cure or treatment for it, so you'll pretty much just have to live it out. So yeah, I gotta go take my break, but good luck, buddy. 1 in 5.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Nah, man. I just got back from the doctors. I got senioritis.
Bro, senioritis is not good. You really need to graduate. We only have 2 weeks left till school's over. Hey man, are you okay?
Nah, dude. I just got back from the doctors. They said I have senioritis.
Dude, that is not good. Not good at all. Senioritis is so bad. You and I are gonna graduate this next 2 weeks because, well, we're not special because there's millions like us that are gonna graduate on that day, but still, a really small percentage is not gonna graduate. And I don't want you to be there. I don't want me to not graduate either. So we will conquer it. We will not have senioritis. No senioritis.
No senioritis. No senioritis. No senioritis. Come on, Vitaly. Just get it over with.
No senioritis. 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 No senioritis.
And we are back, Marysville, with Monica Lane. Now, I have a friend in college, and he tells me that it's not about the grades you make, but the hands that you shake. How would you respond to that?
I think that's a very true statement, and they're talking about networking. When you're in college and you're taking classes, yes, grades are important, but they often have typical career fairs on campus, and because once you're in school, you have more of a career pathway in mind. You want to make sure that you go to those because you are meeting the industry leaders, you are meeting employers. I have a couple stories. A friend of mine, her son was in the construction management program at WSU, and they have a strong, most colleges and technical schools and two-year schools have really good career centers, and they help students with job placement, meaning they get them out in the industry. But Jonathan was graduating in that program. 100% of his graduating class, and I need to find out the number of students, quite a few, because WSU is big, all had jobs lined up as they're graduating, and they're making $80,000 to $100,000 a year.
That's impressive.
Another friend of mine, Karen Epperson, teacher at Marysville Pilchuck, art teacher, her daughter graduated from Stanwood, went to WSU, was interested in medicine, maybe she wasn't so sure. A good student, worked on her grades, but for summer programs, for enhancement, she looked at doing different programs, and she attended a summer kind of a science seminar, and it was study abroad in Hungary or something, I think, but it was sponsored by Notre Dame. They loved her, so they started pursuing her because of the hands she shook, because of the networking that she chose. And Karen spoke to me, she goes, we can't afford Notre Dame, it's a private school and big. I said, if they want her, they will find money for her. And 2 weeks later, shoot, alumni from Seattle's calling. Long story short, she graduated from Notre Dame, and she's finishing up at University of Washington Med School. She's doing, and it was great to shake those hands because it brought her opportunities that she might not have done if she hadn't done that.
Yeah.
So when you have opportunities to go meet people, same thing at the high school level, go job shadow. That's one of the brilliance of our Opportunity Expo, meeting the community people. We have had every year students get jobs at Opportunity Expo because they mini interview with the business people there. So make sure that you do that. If people are interested in a certain industry, I can try to get you in kind of job shadow for a day or something.
That's cool.
So in regards to colleges, which colleges do you usually recommend to kids?
I know some people will have students go through a lesson where list your top schools you'd love to get in, your reach schools, 2 or 3, Stanford, Harvard, UW, and then middle schools. I prefer a different track. I want students to look at the career they're interested in and then find out where they can get training. And that's what I like about WOIS as well. You pick cosmetology, you pick lawyer, you pick firefighter. It links you to the schools in our state where you can get training as well as other states across the country. If students are interested in auto tech, Skagit has a fantastic program, showed us Shoreline. Veterinarian program, WSU's a premier program in our country. Same with that hospitality program. Business, Western has a great program, UW, WSU, Central, quite a few schools have those programs. But our community colleges are also a great way to start, to get your basics, to get into that. One of the nice things we have in Snohomish County, there was an article even last night in Seattle's paper, Everett Community College has, Everett Community College obviously on their campus, and then they have the University Center, which I need to do a better job explaining that to our students. You can stay at Everett Community College and get a 4-year degree from about 8 different state schools. So WSU is now taking over running all of that, but Central, Eastern, St. Martin's, I believe PLU has some programs. They don't offer all of their degree programs, but WSU just was announcing they have their computer engineering, their nursing, some of their other programs, and you stay right at the Everett Community College campus, which is nice financially for a short commute. I have students that are commuting to University UW Bothell. They're really exploding in the tech and computer tech kind of programs, and even nursing, though they did suggest to 2 of my biomed students last year to just start at Everett Community College, because if you go to University of Washington Bothell for nursing, they send you back to ECC for your sophomore and junior year. So they said, go ahead and just start there. That makes sense. But I do want freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and even some of you seniors who haven't decided, visit campuses and start your freshman year. Spring break is a great time to go because our spring break isn't the same as colleges, and so you can see students in classes and you can set those up. Every school training program has visiting days, generally, if not daily, once a week, and you call and you can set those up. Some programs will have a weekend where I know Central has a weekend in the fall where prospective freshmen come on a Friday. They get to sit in on some classes, spend the night in a dorm, eat the dorm food, hit a football game on Saturday, and go home. Central is only 2.5 hours away. We have always in October a Friday, no school, but the colleges have schools. head over with a group of students, parents, drive over, see that campus. Spend a weekend, see Eastern, WSU, some of the private schools, Whitman, Willamette. Go down to Seattle. You can take a bus from Grove Street directly to UW campus. You don't have to change buses. Coming home, you do have to change buses at Linwood by Alderwood Mall, and it drops you off in front of Safeway. We have students in Marysville who've recently graduated that are commuting to the U that way to save some money.
So would you recommend then to stick to like local schools because you can actually visit them instead of like maybe transferring to a school across the country?
I love the opportunity students would have to get to grow 4 years older, get an education, and meet people and get an opportunity to live somewhere else. I'm a huge proponent for even doing study abroad programs, which I'll talk about in a minute. If you can afford to go away to a 4-year school, and I say 4-year school because that's what a bachelor's requires, it makes me nervous that statistics are showing that it's 6 years is what they consider a completer for a bachelor degree, and not even 60% finish in 6 years. And I worry about that debt. And that's why I really, really support if you need to, starting at a community college, they're our best value, and get your associate's degree. Statistics also show that students are completing their bachelor's at a higher percentage if they come in with an associate's degree than typically freshmen starting do. But if you can handle being away from home, and you will get homesick, and that's okay. If you tough it out for a year, then you typically stay and it becomes your home, and you're anxious to get back after Christmas by your sophomore year. But if you have an opportunity to go somewhere else, what a great opportunity to get to live somewhere for 4 years. I would suggest both my kids did the study abroad program. My son went to Gonzaga, and they have a study abroad in Florence, Italy, which he knew. That was one of the reasons he picked it. He went his junior year. They have Gonzaga professors in Italy teaching the classes, so he didn't have to worry as much about the language, but he did take Italian as a freshman, sophomore, and took it while he was there, a business degree, and he did finish in 4 years. So, and my daughter through WSU was in Switzerland, their hospitality program, and it cost me a plane ticket more, and for both of them, I helped them buy a rail pass. You get to travel throughout Europe easily on trains. But otherwise, my checks for room and board and tuition went to WSU and Gonzaga. So they had a fantastic, life-changing experience. So I'd suggest that for any student going anywhere.
So we know that there's multiple types of study abroad programs.
Mm-hmm.
There's the semester and then the year long, and then there's summer programs.
Yes.
Which would you prefer? Would depend on the student or something?
Well, and my niece went to the Gonzaga program as well, and her friend was at the University of Washington and went with her, but she was in a pre-med program, so could really only afford to take a semester to go. That's generally what happens if you want to be graduating soon, which you do.
Yeah.
And so she went for the first semester, of course wanted to stay and do a full year. But that doesn't always fit in with your education plan, so it makes sense. So the summer programs can be fantastic as well. But if you can go a year, there are also programs within our states. A friend of mine was at Western, and they had somewhat a study abroad program, and he got to go to Arizona State University for a year and pay Arizona tuition, not out-of-state tuition. So there are quite a few different programs. And so when freshmen in college, if you're going to a 4-year school or even a 2-year, you go in and you talk to the people about prepping for a study abroad program and where do they offer them. As I said, Gonzaga had the program in Italy, but out of 150 students a year, only about 80 are Gonzaga students. The rest come from colleges throughout the country. And so every school kind of has a niche where they go, but UW, their architecture engineering program, they have a place in Italy, Orvieto, Italy, that they go, and Rome to look at architecture, obviously. Yeah. So it's a neat program.
Sounds like a neat program. So you used to teach at MP, and then they built MG. What was that switch like for you?
Well, it was interesting. You know, the teachers got together. There were many who for years had wanted to have a small focused type school, small academy type school. And so we looked at those in support of that. Then there was the movement kind of statewide with the Gates Foundation and things of looking at smaller schools and some of the benefits that that produced. There are challenges and benefits. So we were part of that. It was interesting when I picked my schools, not knowing at the time, because I was family consumer science, that Marysville Getchell wouldn't have any family consumer science. That wasn't all decided. So we were having as teachers to list the schools we were interested in based on truly a quick little half an hour seminar. And so you just listed them. I had been teaching in the district for 17 years. So you kind of thought with seniority, and I got my 4th pick, which was ISC actually. And I started in ISC as a health teacher. At that point I was only teaching half year and I loved it, but I ended up with health students because we were still on the MP campus from quite a few of the academies when we switched. And so when we first started, before we moved here, but we're separate academies, I was in ISC and taught health. And then when we were moving up here, the year before we moved here, I switched and trained to be the career counselor half-time. And actually currently now I'm only 80%. You guys go to school 180 days and I work 144.
Lucky.
I only get paid for 144, but I like that flexibility.
Do you like being a career counselor a lot more than you like teaching?
They have different strengths. I like my flexibility. I like that I'm helping students, I hope, focus on their career goals. I think that's important because as career and technical ed teachers, we have a section in our curriculum, each class, for doing that. But it's hard for all the teachers to focus on careers because they're focusing on their subject matter. And I truly am hoping district-wide, we just had an audit and our new superintendent, Becky Berg, we're interested in having consistency in the buildings, and we'll, in the next couple of years, because the state is forcing this with our high school and beyond plan requirements, focusing more on career prep, middle schools even, we're starting in the middle schools to do that. I do miss, I have great friendships with my former students. You know, Facebook made some of that easy, but, and I miss getting to know my students at that level where I see them every day for a semester, and most of them took my classes a few times. But by working with students 4 grades, my seniors here start to get to know me a little bit more and count on me and email me about new
about what they're
scholarships and all sorts of things.
So we actually have to go to another commercial break, but here's a commercial on Illuminati being confirmed.
The New World Order is upon us. The Illuminati is everywhere, watching you and your family. They have left us subtle hints of their existence all around us. We'll show you. Think when you're heading into the bathroom, you're going to the bathroom, but you're actually entering the headquarters of the Illuminati. See that? 3 triangle. You think you're buying a simple beverage. You're wrong. What are you really buying? You pull out $1 to buy a drink. But what's on that dollar? Illuminati confirmed. Take out your phone. Your mom called you. But is it really a simple phone call? Look at this 54. 5 minus 4 is 1. What has one eye? The Illuminati. You need to wake up, people. The New World Order is upon us. Illuminati confirmed.
And we're back with our guidance and college career counselor, Monica Lane. So, what is like your main message for the seniors when they leave that you hope that they leave with?
I have a favorite quote that I often use, especially at our ward assembly or when I'm working with students, and it's life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. And that implies action. It means don't let life happen to you. Have a plan. Create the life you want. My business cards at the bottom say discover, prepare, create. I mean, discover what your passions are, discover what your strengths and skills are. Now, whether you do that with me and Voice, or you go out on job shadows, or you start really paying attention when you're out in the world, jobs, and thinking, well, that might be interesting, and asking people, how did you get in your career? What made you think of that? You go to the doctor, ask she or he. Go when you're in retail, ask them. And so that's the discover piece, and then prepare. Take the classes you need to be taking, get the grades you need to be doing, apply to the schools, visit schools, talk to other people that are in those fields, and then create the life that you want. Leave Marysville-Getchell with a plan, knowing that it can be flexible and should be flexible, because you will meet new people, be exposed to new careers, and you need to be ready to go through those doors when they are open for you.
Well, thank you for talking to us
Yeah,
and
thank you.
for telling Marysville
It's
about
great.
us.
Thank you for having
Marysville,
me.
it's been awesome.
It's been great.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you.